So this is a story from a collection that I'm just finishing right now. Very short stories. All of the narrators are female. This story is after a Raymond Carver short story of the same name. Fat. Here is what I want to tell you, so I will. Some days, you know how it is, are pretty much just fine and it's just work and that's okay. Then some other days, even when you think it's just fine, you're working and it all seems fine and then pow, it all falls apart on you, like tonight. It's not like we don't get a lot of fat people in here, come on, you know it. But tonight in the middle of my closing shift, this big old fat guy comes in and sits by himself at number 3, in the corner back there all by himself. He proceeds to chow down, even though he's really nice and everything, and I kind of like him. I mean, you see it every night, but tonight there's something about the everything he orders. A martini to start, of course, then a big Caesar with extra bread and butter, then the lamb chop special with a baked potato and sour cream and a couple of glasses of Syrah just because. And even though he says he'll maybe think about dessert, you know he will and does. Bread pudding with Jack bourbon sauce. Nothing too much, truth be told. Oh, and coffee. But the weird thing is, and this is what I think gets me, is he says we instead of just him. Like we think we'll have, we think we'd like, we're not quite ready, we don't normally, we very much. Like we as in more than one of him, like there's something about him that's two people in that one body. And sure, go ahead and make fun if you want. Sure, there's enough room in that body, but it's not that really. There's something about his we that tips me over or cracks me open or whatever it is that's happening to me tonight. That we, it makes me so fucking hungry all of a sudden, and I didn't even know I was hungry, and all I want to do is sit down at this two-top with we and join him and order everything on the menu and keep ordering and eating and frankly never stop, because how is it possible to even stop? I mean, Christ, that's what this place is for. Then when my pager hums, it's his dessert. It's finally come up, that bread pudding, and I go to the window and pick it up, and there's Rita, and she says all super snarky, is that for wobbly porker? And I'm all what? And she says, you're number 3, that fat guy who can't quite get enough. I take a second to look at Rita, right, but decide whatever and laugh with my chin, and I say, I know, right? Luckily, Rita spins back onto the floor, which is perfect timing, because I know I can't help myself. And there I am putting this one finger in the warm jack sauce on Wee's bread pudding, and I lick off that finger and can taste the bourbon in the sauce, and down it goes straight to the middle of me, and you just have to understand that this makes everything worse and hungrier. But I stop, I know I can stop, and smooth over the hole in the bread pudding sauce where the finger was with a spoon, and then I lick the spoon of that last little bit of sauce, and that goes straight to the middle of me too. When I look up, Rudy the line chef is staring at me, and he laughs, that little fucking laugh of his. Wee doesn't seem to notice a thing when I drop the pudding on his table, and he just looks so happy to see it, and he digs right in there and then, though I'm still standing there by the table. He looks right up at me and smiles, and I know this is weird, but I'm glad I stole that lick, and I'm happy a little part of me is on his dessert, which is even weirder. We pays, and we goes, and we leaves very nice gratuity. So later I'm at home all alone, and the TV on, and the lights all out, and sweatpants and everything. And I do what I have to do, which is get out my touchstone. That's what I call it, my touchstone. Though it's only this crappy little thing I won at the fair one year when I was like 12 or something. It's this tiny little elephant. It's about as big as my thumb, and I don't know why, but I've kept it forever and think I always will, right? Why not? And what I do and what I've always done on nights like this is take out the little elephant and put it in front of me, and I stroke it like petting it, and tonight it's still shining in the darkness. Then what I do with that cheap little thing is while I'm stroking it, I say what I need to say, but only to myself, and which is kind of like chanting, right? Fat, 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 until I forget what it all means, and it It's just sound and not a word, and then I'm pretty sure it's going to be all right, right? And tonight it works. Until just as I open the cardboard take-home box and pick up my fork and start to dive in when the phone rings out of the blue and I don't want to pick it up, but I do even though it's way too late and it's Rudy. And Rudy's all, hey, I was thinking about coming over. And I say, sure, Rudy, sure, come over, sure. That'd be nice, though I'm not so sure. I have to hurry now. He'll be here and he'll sit next to me on the couch and I will relax some and then he'll get on top of me. But it's okay, he'll be very tiny on top of me and hardly there at all. Then I'll be waiting for what I'd like to know, except I'll know it is August now and my life is going to change. I feel it.